So this is what it looks like when I film a vlog from my desk, right? I got the camera, I got some lights, and then I got my brick wall behind me. I don't feel like being here today. What I do feel like doing is talking a little bit about 2025, because honestly, it kicked my ass. I'm talking like Jake Paul ass kick. Like, I'm here like without the broken jaw, but man, I was definitely beat up this year. And I want to just kind of talk about it. First, I gotta lock my office door because getting robbed wouldn't be awesome. Where are my keys? But yeah, today what I want to do, it's a beautiful day out. It's literally 70 in Atlanta. Christmas is tomorrow, and I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about like the year, some of the things that hold on, I can't do two things at once. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the year in review, and kind of like what the plan is for Pete and Pedro, because it was a brutal year. Sales were down, not too bad, like 2%, but that 2% kind of sucks when you think about all the things that, I don't know, oh God, we worked so hard, the whole team. It's like this year, like we had to scrape and scrap and fight and punch and claw and like get a baseball bat and then like knife some, like we had to freaking kill ourselves in order to do what we did. Everything from vendors to advertising to Amazon to you name it, it pretty much sucked. It just sucked. And just so you know, every time I say, you know, it was a bad year or things sucked or whatever, it's all relative, all right? And I know that there are a lot of people that have it worse than me. A lot of people, you know, aren't healthy and all that. Like, I get it. That is not lost on me. What I'm talking just about is just business. And when your business isn't doing well, or it's frustrating, or there are things that are going wrong, as an entrepreneur, it permeates every aspect of your life. Like, it's not like you get to just leave it at work on Friday. You're thinking about it, you're dealing with it every single day, 24 hours a day. You're dreaming about the shit, right? Because when you start a business, it's your baby. And my baby this year was bad. It's like the terrible twos, apparently. It was a bad boy because, man, it was just hard. It was hard. So sales, they were down 2%. Profitability was about okay, or about like even with last year, even though sales were down. And one of the reasons is because we had a big thing happen with the Stubble Buddy. I've talked about it before. The Stubble Buddy was kind of like this unforeseen thing that just kind of took off. It went viral and we crushed it. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough inventory, and so we sold out, and for the last 3 weeks of the busiest shopping season, like, we were out. But something good happened that I just found out about 2 days ago. We won an award, texture powder. All right, I keep texture powder in my car. Have you guys heard about the men's magazine Fashion Beans? Really big, really popular. Well, Pete and Pedro's texture powder, I'll link to it down below. I'll give you a deal. 50% off, literally $10. I'm gonna give you a texture powder if you want to grab one right now in honor of the big award. We won the best hair product of 2025. The best hair product from Fashion Beans, boom, Pete and Pedro. It wasn't paid, it wasn't endorsed, nothing. Like, they basically said, hey, Pete and Pedro texture powder is the best powder of 2025. So that's a big deal, right? It's a big thing. Something else that happened this year, we started selling on a lot of these third-party platforms like Ulta. We've been crushing it on Ulta. We've already been on Amazon. Amazon got really hard because it got more competitive. The expense of advertising on Amazon, it went through the roof, and it's just gotten a lot harder than it was last year. Last year, we were crushing it. We would get the badge and everything was amazing. Now it's just like, it's just gotten harder. And once again, I'm not bitching. Actually, I am bitching. It sucks. And the reason why it sucks so bad, and I'm just like venting, is because, like, just when you think you figure something out, just when you think, oh, this is working, or look at this, oh, we had a good whatever, just know that that is going to last like a minute. And then the shit's gonna hit the fan and you're gonna have to figure things out, and what you thought was right will be wrong. And that was kind of like the story of Pete and Pedro this year. It's like every time we would make like a little progress, we'd get like punched in the face. And it's not even like 2 steps forward, 1 back. That's like progress. Ours was like 1 step forward, 1 step back. I got sued this year. And the thing that really, like, that whole thing sucked with like the ADA compliance. That was complete bullshit. But that, again, was very, very emotionally like draining. Like I said, I take things very personally. And then when I saw the dude who actually sued me, the lawyer, this dude, I shouldn't have looked them up, right? Because I saw this picture and I'm just like, oh my God, like, you want to make getting screwed by somebody worse? Make him look like that dude. And all that dude's like pictures and Instagram pics are him and his Lambos and his Rolls Royces and his inspirational quotes of how he grinds and this and that. Yeah, the way that he grinds is basically filing 250 lawsuits like I got served this year. And so your boy is killing it. That boy, not this boy. But it just seems like that was like it was a big hurdle for us to overcome, because it was hard, and I was at the time, I was ready to fight it. I didn't want to settle, and I was mad and I was emotional. And then I thought about what my grandfather said: feed your ego or feed your family. And so I decided that I was going to take the L. I was just going to do what I needed to do. I was going to settle, and we were going to move on. And that was the right decision. I truly believe it was the right decision. But guess what? Oh yeah, the lawsuits don't start there, or stop there, I should say. Anyway, there were some other like copyright issues, and I had to settle like 2 other things because of honestly, because we used on like one of our blogs, we used like a picture of like celebrity hair, and you know, whatever. I ended up settling 2 different lawsuits for that. Got sued again, and it's just like one of these things where it's like, just when you think things are like good, like you just get hit with shit, and it's just part of it. What I need to do better for 2026 is not let the predictable upset me. Also, not worry about things that I can't change. If I can't change it, I don't need to get fired up. I don't need to get all bent out of shape. I just need to go through it, keep a level head, and make the best of a situation, and try to find the wins where I can find them, which is one of the things that we're going to do with Pete and Pedro. I feel like going into 2026, we've learned a lot. We've taken a lot of shots, but the good news is that from a vendor perspective, we are in a good position. We have like 4 vendors now that we have had formulate pretty much all of our products, as opposed to 2 years ago what happened where our main vendor said, hey, deuces, your minimum order quantity is 25,000 units, and it was like, oh, that's not gonna happen. We had to scramble, and it's literally taken like a year and a half to really figure out sort of the lab situation. Then we had to figure out packaging, because the other vendor was a turnkey operation. Now we have to source our packaging. We've got to get it printed. We've got to get labels. We've got to get it to the manufacturers, and we're working with different labs. So going into 2026, we are in a position of strength when it comes to our products. Something else I feel like we've won. We've won a lot of like little battles, like on TikTok. We started selling on TikTok Shop this year. We did about $70,000 on TikTok Shop from zero. And we started basically in like May, which is good. It's really great considering a lot of the other platforms are down. Our .com business is down. Our Amazon business is down in terms of profitability. And so it's good that we're sort of finding these little wins. Ulta.com, we're on Ulta.com, which is good. We're on Target.com, but that sucks. We are not planning on going into big retail. I know that a lot of people, when they think about growth, they think, oh, it'd be really cool or sexy to get into Target. You know, my buddy, Alex Costa just got into Target for his hair product, which maybe someday I'll talk. We'll see what happens with that one. But if you're not ready for retail, and I'm not talking about like logistically and operationally, I'm talking about brand. If you're not ready and you haven't built a strong enough brand that has good enough power, like a Dollar Shave Club or a Harry's Razors or, some of these other brands, you go in and you don't have people buy it, you are fucked. And by fucked, I mean fucked. You are potentially going to be out of business. It happened to my buddy Eric at Beard Brand. He was in Target, got kicked out. It ruined his business. Strix, the makeup company, they got in Target. Everybody's like, you know, giving each other like skincare hand jobs. Yay! Sorry, I'm kidding. And then, boom, they didn't do enough sales. Target kicked them out. Geology, another company that I have an intimate knowledge. They went into, you know, Target. It basically like ruined their brand. Like, if you're not ready, it could be literally a game changer in terms of game over. Zero. I have zero desire to go into retail. Wholesale and barbershops, that's a different story. What's up, people?
Howdy-ho.
Was it an easier or hard year, Pete and Pedro?
It was a very challenging year.
Very learning.
Learning, very learning. You need the very learning. That's great, Zabi. As you can see, we need more schooling. It was a motherfucker. Was it not a motherfucker? It was a motherfucker. It was hard, but
we got through it.
We got through it.
Absolutely.
We're still here.
We're still here.
Next year's gonna be awesome.
No, unless it gets harder. And that's the thing. What's up, Kelsey? Hey, was this a good year, or I should say, an easier or hard year for Pete and Pedro?
It was tough, but we got through it, though.
That's it. Do you hear that? It's hard, but you get through it. And that really is kind of like, I guess, if there is a lesson. Understand that if you do have a business, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. There's no like easy button, unfortunately. You're going to have issues. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have times where you're like, why am I doing this? You do it because you're an entrepreneur. You do it because nothing great was ever accomplished because it was easy. And the things that are the sweetest are the things that you had to bust your ass and work super hard for. And so I am so incredibly proud of my team. And that's the other thing, I guess, the big win for me this year was my team. My team had to face a lot of issues, you know, and together, like, we are a family. And so everybody is aware of everybody's struggles or all the issues that we have with the business. Like, I'm very upfront and open about money issues, about inventory issues, because that's the other thing this year that was a big issue was inventory. We had to buy more inventory, which is dollar bills sitting on the shelf, than we needed. And really it's because of, you know, minimum order quantities and all that stuff. But, you know, I'm so proud of the fact that I have this team that will roll with me and basically is willing to basically get in the trenches and fight just as hard, if not harder, than me. And so that, I would say, is one of the biggest wins that happened. We're kind of like battle tested. And that's one of the other realities is that, you know, you're not going to know what you're made of as from a company standpoint or from a business standpoint or an entrepreneurial standpoint until you are tested. And so we've been in business now for like 12 years. And this last year, I would say, was it was the most challenging year that we have faced. But I feel like going into 2026, like, we're a little bit more battle tested and we're more just aware of what we're going to be facing. And we are ready to fight and do what we can in order to move the needle next year and try to, you know, do better than we did this year. And so anyway, I just wanted to share kind of what was going on with the business. If you guys are still here, you may be interested in some of the business questions, which I'm actually going to get back into the car and answer now. Actually, why don't we head back to the office so I can have my computer, take my time, grab a cup of coffee, and get into those questions. What do you say? You hungry? You want something from Starbucks? Let's do it. All right, let's get down to business. If you have a business question, down below, start it with question and ask. Each week, I try to get to some of them. Is this camera weird? All right. First question comes from our friend, Give It All to Lose It All. He says, Aaron, you're a successful businessman with a successful relationship. Are you sure? Anyway, I'm kidding. Relationships are hard. All right, and that's one of the things you just need to understand. It doesn't matter how great a relationship is. You're going to have to try. You're going to have struggles. You're going to have issues you got to deal with, all right? Anyway, you've talked about how important it was to find that person for you and how it positively affected you in business. With the knowledge that you have now, if you were in your 20s with an emerging small business, what would be the 3 things you would initially look for in that person? Okay, so this is a great question. So for me, what I've learned is, you know, okay, so I'm going to take like beautiful off the table, right? Because you've got to be like physically attracted to them. You can't be with like a wildebeest with a heart of gold. Like that's just not going to work. You got to be physically attracted. So we're going to say that that is not one of the things, all right? Number one, they've got to be kind. They've got to be a nice person, all right? Number two, these are pretty easy. Number two is they've got to be a hard worker. All right, I don't have respect for people that don't have a strong work ethic, all right? You've got to be kind, you've got to be able to show up and do the work, because work ethic is one of those things that is going to manifest in a lot of different areas in your relationship, okay? Whether or not it's in, like working through issues, or like if she has a job, like you've got to have somebody that is willing to work, all right? I see a lot of people online that look lazy or just think that, whatever. No, work ethic, it's got to be one. And then smart. All right, I don't want to be with a dummy. You have to understand that conversations and being able to connect intellectually is something that is very important, because I've dated a dumb girl and it is not fun. She was hot, but she was dumb. And I don't do dumb. I did dumb. But I don't anymore. The second business question comes from our friend Ethan Height. He says, what are some rules and tasks in your personal life that are essential for your professional life to grow? For example, make your bed, date your spouse, etc. So number one is exercise. For me, not nothing else matters, but like I need that. It's like the thing that I do. I'm very selfish with my exercise time. I need to get that out of the way. I like to do it basically early in the day. So later in the day, things will typically fall apart. The other thing is just sleep, honestly. And this one is not sexy, but I don't think people prioritize sleep as much as they should, because if you're not well rested, you are not going to be good for yourself. You're not going to be good for your family. You're not going to be good for your business. You've got to make sure you prioritize sleep. And just being in bed doesn't mean you're sleeping, all right? You've got to make sure you're sleep 8 hours deep slumber. Those are two things that I really do focus on. I'm in bed every night by at least 10 o'clock. I need it. I need that in order to feel good and accomplish anything. Next question says, this is funny. All right, last vlog we were all about Tiege Hanley. He says, Marcus Lee 3409 says, I see on TikTok a beef tallow for skincare. It seems to be reaching young people. What are your thoughts on beef tallow? Maybe a market. Tiege may want to jump on it. So our chemist asked us a very simple question when we were developing our products. Because we went to him, he said, hey, can we make this natural? He said, sure, you can, but this is the question you've got to ask yourself. Do you want something to work or be effective or be natural? And if the answer is be natural, it can't do these other things. Sorry for the finger. But you get what I'm saying. Natural products are not going to be as effective as the properties that are found in a lot of this cutting edge lipid technology that we're finding, all right? It's all about the encapsulation method and the way that you basically need to process and allow those molecules to penetrate deep into the dermis. All right, beef tallow ain't doing it. Just letting you know, all right? Just saying it doesn't, no. And it's all like 20-year-olds that are using it. They don't have wrinkles yet. Get a 60-year-old to start using beef tallow and see how different he looks. He won't look different. Anyway, next question comes from our friend Malcolm Howard. Malcolm T. Howard. He says, hey, Aaron, I've been pivoting professionally for 12 years of finance and real estate. Hold on. I've been pivoting professionally for 12 years of finance and real estate related roles to cybersecurity, specifically government risk and compliance related goals. I'm curious, as an entrepreneur, how do you make decisions and security about data and information systems? For instance, if you are outsourcing this protection, how are you deciding who you will choose to go with? I've been thinking about getting into consulting. Okay, so let me just say this. I think consulting for cybersecurity is a good thing. I also think that a big market is consulting for companies for ADA compliance. I think you could package some type of like small business consulting, firm that handles like all these different things, because as an entrepreneur, you're focused on trying to sell stuff and you're dealing with things as they happen. A lot of the unfortunate reality is that you're reactive. All right, it's like, oh, I didn't realize this was a problem. And so I think starting an agency dealing with cybersecurity, I have, cybersecurity insurance, I've got, different things in place, but, I think that there's definitely more that you could do. But I love that idea, because small businesses, like I said, you're really focusing on selling and dealing with the fires, and you're not very proactive. And so if you have a business that is basically walking people through, these are the things that you need to do in order to protect yourself, I think it would be super, super great and profitable. And the last business question comes from our friend RRR255. He says, do new companies benefit more from organic marketing or from paid advertising as a faster path to growth? I'd appreciate the perspective as a marketing expert. So, number one, I feel like you shouldn't spend any money on paid ads until you've done the organic stuff, because the organic stuff is you building your brand. All right. It doesn't work just promoting a product. You go to their site, they have like 0 reviews. There's no social proof. There's no UGC or user-generated content. In my opinion, it's a two-pronged approach. Number one, you need to build a brand. And a brand is not just having an ad and doing like Google ads or putting it on Amazon. It doesn't work, all right? Gone are the days of just basically going to China, putting your label on it, and then advertising it and thinking that it's going to grow. People don't do business that way anymore. The other reality is that it's a very crowded space. The way that you win is by building your brand and doing the organic social content to build basically your credibility, but also just get customer buy-in. Easy answer, simple, not simple, but that's the answer. Gentlemen, that's where I'm going to wrap things up. I hope you guys all had a happy holiday. I hope you also have a safe and prosperous new year. I'll see you in 2026.